I wanted to welcome everyone today. My name is Lisa, and I'm an internal support coordinator with WEX FSM. And this is Solution Studio. There will be 20 sessions in the rotation that will cover different features of the software. The first 4 days of the week will cover different features, and Fridays will be reserved for Q&As. To access the sign-up calendar, go to your Help Center and click on Search for Help. Search Solution Studio, and the article will come up that contains the calendar and the previous webinar replays so that you can review them as needed. Remember, these sessions are not a replacement for customer support. If you're having an issue or something's not working in your system, reach out to customer support right away. Don't wait for a webinar. We have a whole team waiting there to help you. So go to your Help Center on the bottom right-hand side of your screen and click Contact Support and let them know your question, issue, and they'll be there to help. Remember, there's a short survey at the end to tell us how we're doing and if there are any other subjects you'd like us to include in our webinars. And we really appreciate your help. So if you can fill those out, that would be great. Today, we are going over scheduling best practices. So as a company, sometimes you're going to have to figure out how you want to do things because when you schedule, you're keeping track of your people. You may have an install team. You may have a service team. So depending on how many users you have, once you start to get past 8, sometimes it's better to have a dispatch group to divide those out. Installers usually stay at one location during the day or 1 or 2 at the most, but your service people are bouncing around all day. So you really want to have them at the top, and you can always drag and drop and change the order if you want to and leave the installers down at the bottom, but out of sight is out of mind. So you may want to have a separate dispatch group for them as well. So we also have the ability to schedule an appointment on the schedule. We have the ability to do a service request and an unassigned appointment. And there's a little bit difference between the two. So a service request, if I hit new and I look for my customer, I'm going to choose Mr. Dawson. And if I know that he is going to need an appointment and he's maybe just called in and said, say, when you're out in my area, swing by and do my maintenance service window, or I just need somebody to check on something because there's a knocking, it's working, but I just need somebody to check on it. Okay, so you don't know when you're going and you don't know who you're sending. So that's a service request. And you can put in here the duration that you think it will take and any appointment tags that you have on there. Okay, you can turn on your notifications if you'd like, but what this is going to do is it's going to live, when I save it, in the service queue over here. So it is a service request. You don't know who and you don't know when. Okay, so Jack Dawson, I'm going to open this one up and edit it. Okay, so I didn't know who, I didn't know when, and if he calls back and says he wants an appointment in the future, you can go to schedule now. So you can choose the date to schedule it. You can schedule it if it's only a one-time appointment, daily, weekly. Some jobs take a lot longer. Some are a one and done. So it's just up to you. What time it's going to start, 2-hour service window. Okay. And you say, I know I'm going to promise him this date, but I don't know who I'm going to send yet. So you can hit assign later. Check your appointment tags, turn on all your notifications, hit save, and then it lives under unassigned appointments. And the reason this is important is because service requests, you haven't promised your customer anything. Unassigned appointments you have. So you've promised Jack Dawson that you're going to be there today between 1 and 3. At 1:05, he's going to be calling to see where somebody is. So if you are going to use the unassigned appointment feature, you need to manage these and have somebody watch these and go in. You can see show all. It will show everything that you have done, but unassigned appointments, you've promised a date and a time. So monitoring this and getting this scheduled is really important for your customers. You can drag and drop it to 1 p.m. once you decide who is going to be going, and that tech will be on their way. This guy has a little bit of time in between, so he will be going there shortly or should have already been going because this is your line in the sand. Okay. This tells you where you are on your day. And if it looks off, always check up here in your time zone, especially if you're new and you're not used to taking a look. Make sure this shows your time zone. A lot of times people will go in and change it, or if you work across multiple states, you may have one company that goes across a state line. So make sure you check your time zone so that you're all together on the same page with your appointments. Okay. We also have some nice things in the schedule page. This is the calendar view. We also have the list view. Some people like to just see the list of everything for today in one place. We also have a map view. And the nice thing about the map view is it has these little pins in here. Okay. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so you're going to see your user is underneath this pink pin. That's me under the pink pin. And there's a blue pin. So the reason the map view is important is I can see where my tech is. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Can't because the appointment's at my house. So when you see that your tech is right here and you have a pink pin, you know that there's a service request that you have, and he's already right there. So you can go back to the schedule and check to see if he has time to do that. Or if he goes to this one, which is a scheduled appointment, if he has time to come back. If not, there may be another pink pin in this area that they can work into their day. So that brings me back to the calendar page. We have the option to see the scheduled time and the actual time. So let's say on this job, anything in red in the system you can click on. This is what I call the people icon. It's a shortcut to the customer page. Here is the shortcut to the job page for this job. So right now, that technician was assigned there from 8 to 10. He hasn't logged in. If I change this to from idle to en route and hit update, let me show you what it does on the job. On actual time, it shows that he clocked in here. The scheduled time was 8 a.m., but he's running way late for the day. So he is on his way to this 8 a.m. job, but you can line this up however you like, all nice and neat. 2-hour increments through the whole day, but then the day happens. I log in late in the morning. I have an appointment. My child is sick. I can't get to work on time. So these get pushed back. Actual time was he logged in now. So he has another appointment. You have promised somebody else for the same time. So you have to make a decision. Do you call this homeowner and let him know he's going to be late? Do you change it to a different user so that they can go? And then Jordan can go to that appointment. So this is a very nice feature. So if you can go back and see, okay, now it's scheduled, it still looks really nice and clean, but then reality happens and now you've got this. The other thing that is nice is those pins that I showed you on the map view. If this gentleman did not have any other calls and was in the same area, you could assign it to some of those pins to him on any of the service requests. And you can see the address to see if he's close or use the pins. Now, once we go back, he's been en route for a couple of minutes. We'll put him at the job and you can manually do this. So if they forget, because they can do this from their mobile app, if they forget, you can manually do this for them. But if they are at the job, you can't change it. You can't change it while they're doing. They'll have to change that, or else you can come into the end and complete it for them once they're done for the day. But when they're at the job, it now becomes a stationary line. You can still see that the dots are around there. He's at the job. The job is active. This job, he's not there or he's not en route yet. And then once this gentleman completes this job, it becomes a little teeny tiny line because we're on actual time and it's showing the actual amount of time that he was there. But if you go back to the schedule, it will show when it was scheduled and that the job is complete. It's now grayed out and it has a kind of dark blue line around it because that is the color I chose for that job type. Okay. The other thing that's kind of interesting with the schedule view, we have the map view. It also gives you a legend that tells you what everything is. So you can come in and take a peek at any of these. Gives you a little bit more information, your job types and your job colors. And the other one is we have Azuga vehicle tracking. And some of you may not have signed up for that. It's a very nice feature and it has a lot of good uses. You can click vehicle tracking here if you have purchased Azuga through us, and a link will take you into Azuga's website. If you don't have Azuga, and when you have your tech download the app from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, they have a couple of questions when they download that app, and one of them is to allow tracking. And if you click on the user's name as a dispatcher, you can see, you should be able to see, there we go, where they are, where they've been, and it is tracking on the mobile app and your phone and their phone, not on their vehicle. So if they get out of their vehicle and it's still on, you'll see them going into Home Depot or Lowe's, and it will show up here. It will show a planned route. It will show an actual route. So as they move, you'll get the red dotted lines. You'll be able to see where they go, and you'll be able to see if they're assigned to a coverage zone. So it's kind of a way that when we set up the software that you could see where your techs are, but it's totally dependent on whether they say yes or no to allow tracking. If they say no, you're not going to see anything there. So we also have the calendar. So you can go take a peek at the calendar and see what days are coming up. You can see daily view. You can see weekly view. You can also see monthly view. So you have some options in here. You can also widen the screen. A lot of people have one big monitor up for all their dispatchers to kind of keep an eye on how things are going. If not, make it back to regular size. Again, all of these service requests are in here. We have filters because once you start, they're kind of like candy. You get more than one, you can keep going. And you may have quite a few in here. So out of sight is out of mind. You can come in and filter by oldest to newest. Appointment date for the unassigned appointments, by job types, coverage zones. If you're looking for a particular customer that you know that you said that you were coming, you can search by that customer and it will pull them up. So you have several options in here to find all of your unassigned appointments. And we already went over scheduled versus actual time and being able to drag and drop things. So there's quite a bit of functionality on the schedule page for you. Now, we have some things on here that you can go in and see, okay, under customers and scheduling, you can put in here hours of operation. And what that will do is if you put in 8 to 5, that's what your schedule will center on. And anything that's outside of that time will show as grayed out on the schedule. It won't keep you from being able to schedule. It's just a visual reminder that you might be scheduling an appointment that would cause overtime. And if you're watching your pennies and the person maybe doesn't have a huge issue, you may be able to schedule it during the next day during regular working hours. Okay. And the other thing is if you have a special hour, so for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, any days that your office is going to be closed or your business is going to be closed, you can add special hours in here. Choose the date, a description, and the hours of operation, whether your business is closed or not, and that will show as grayed out on the schedule as well. So you have some ability to customize a little bit the schedule, and you have the ability to go in and create coverage zones. So the coverage zones are under settings, customers, and scheduling, and that's where the business hours are as well. So if you haven't gone through all of your settings, or it's been a long time since you've initially gotten set up, go back through your settings and review everything in here to just make sure that you're using the system as much as you can and that everything in the call-in notifications for email and notifications um, are filled out. We do have review requests under there now. So if you haven't noticed that, or if you've been with us a long time and didn't realize it was there, it's there as well. I do have another Solution Studio that works on review requests. So we'll work on those at that time. But right now we're on coverage zones. So customers and scheduling, coverage zones, and coverage zone is being able to block off a certain section of your service area so that you have certain techs that are assigned to this area so that you don't have a person taking a call from way over here and then going clear to the other side of the to Charlotte near the airport and having another call over there. And then, oh my goodness, we got another call. It's way back over here. You're wasting tech time. You're wasting gas. You just want to consolidate where your people are so they're not bouncing all over. Let's face it, some days you have to send people all over, or if you only have a couple of techs, you may be bouncing all day, but a good dispatcher will be able to talk to the customer and see how big the need is, whether it's a 90-year-old who doesn't have AC or heat, or if it's somebody who just says, I'm smelling a funny smell, smells like socks. That can wait a little bit. The 90-year-old can't. So you can choose when to schedule and make it as efficient for your company as you can. So when you create a coverage zone, you click points and you choose points. We used to have a bridge, like we had to go to Beachside. There was a bridge, and we knew that to go over this bridge, we would probably be sitting there, depending on the time of day, for 30 minutes to get over the bridge, do the repair, and then 30 minutes to get back to Beachside. So we tried to keep our people on one side of the river or the other side of the river for as long as we could. So you can come in and you can assign users to a dispatch group. And if I went to the schedule and I hit new appointment and I added myself as the primary tech, I'm getting a notification over here that there's a coverage zone mismatch. It will not keep you from scheduling. So if you need to schedule this person to go to this job, you surely still can. But it's going to give you a notification here that you're pulling this person out of that zone and you created that zone for a reason. So just kind of keep an eye on here. And the other thing is, if I go back to, there we go, coverage zones. To create one, you hit add new, you name it, you choose a description. So like for the one I would say would be Beachside. You can assign your users to it. And let's go here. Let's do this one. And I'm going to assign Jordan to this one. Okay, I've got it. I can come in and click the little icon. I can double click. Let's see if I can get it to go. it didn't save on me. Dang it, I didn't do something. Maybe Jordan's not on this one. Okay, click my little button. It's not going to let me. This is my test zone, so beware. Okay, it let me save it this time. So let's go in and edit. So once again, this is my test zone, test one. So this is not working as expected right at the moment, but you'll be able to see this one, the one that I did earlier, where you could click the 3 spots and it'll make a thing for you. So I'm not going to waste your time on this one anymore because it's not working for me in my test system. Okay. Let's see. We got business hours, we got coverage zones. The other thing that I wanted to show you was on the users. And if you go into your user and you choose work hours, you can put the times, their regular out times that they're in there. And when you go to schedule an appointment, if you go to schedule the appointment outside of those working hours, it will also pop up on that appointment notification on the right-hand side where it was outside of the coverage zones. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to show you about scheduling is maintenance plan service windows. Maintenance plan service windows can only be scheduled from 2 places so that these click off. You can also kind of get there from the appointment, but it gets a little tricky. So let me show you the maintenance plan appointment scheduling windows. And where it says unscheduled here, these are your service windows for your maintenance plan. It brings up the regular appointment. You can schedule now or do a service request to put it over there to drag and drop when someone's in that area, or you can go ahead and schedule now. And if you schedule from here, or if you schedule from here, which brings up the same window, then when they click on the appointment and complete the appointment, it will show this as completed here. Okay. And you go back to this report and you'll have one less for this person. So it will take this out of here. So as you use those and as you complete them, these are going to say completed. And you can search by completed as well. But you're looking for the unscheduled ones right now so that you can get those scheduled. So let's say you came here and you scheduled an appointment and you used this one or the one from the schedule. It's the same window. It looks just the same. You can kind of sort of get there from here, but when you start going through this drop down, if you have a plan that goes until canceled, you may have 20 service windows in here. It's easy to get confused to choose those. So I recommend that you come back and you use this one or the maintenance plan appointment scheduling. If you do schedule from here, customer calls, you can't take the time to get here or get to the other one, you assign it to a new job. If they clock into that appointment and complete that appointment, it's not going to take these out of play. And so you will still look like you owe your customer 2 service windows. We have a way to fix that. So let's say for this spring one, you scheduled it by an appointment and you came in and you go, okay, I'm going to go to my maintenance plan appointment scheduling report. And I go, I know I've been there. I know I've been there. The spring, we're trying to get, I just scheduled it the other day, but it's not showing correctly here. And you go to your timeline and you see that you did it here. Let's say it was job 209. You can go back, click the pencil next to it, change job, and choose job 209. And then once they've clocked in and out of that job 209, that appointment on job 209, and completed it, this number 210 will change to 209 and it will say completed, and that will take it out of play. So you have a way back in case you schedule it without using the service windows. And it's easy to do that by just reassigning it to it. Now, if let's say on job 209, they didn't clock in and out of the job, it's still going to say unscheduled. So you're going to have to click on the job and go in and complete it to make this go on to completed. But if they're clocking in and out of their jobs, then all you should have to do is reassign it to the job where it was done. Okay. We've also got appointment tags. And appointment tags are when you click on the appointment, they're below the technician assignments. And when you click in this box, anytime you have a box that is a box without a drop down, it's a multi-select. So you can build these as you go. So if you do any new residential construction, you may have rough in, trim out, and then final in here, or different phases of a job. If you do more than one type of service, if you're a plumber and do HVAC or electric, you may have the same customer, the same job with multiple types of appointments going on. So you could use this one plumbing rough-in for AC, and you can assign multiple people to it, or you can assign separate appointments. If the plumbers are going to be there before the AC people, you can go ahead and schedule the plumbers, because on this job for this customer, you can have as many appointments as you need to get the work done. A job is kind of like a folder. You put everything in there to get that job done. So you have a proposal to go out and do the work, an appointment to do the proposal and give the estimate. Once you get the proposal and it's signed by the customer, you can convert it to an invoice. You can go back out and have another appointment to install equipment or to do whatever phase work that you're in, and then send the invoice to the customer and get paid. You can have a one and done where you have one appointment to go out and do a service, an invoice, and a payment, and that job is done. So you can have as many appointments, proposals, invoices, whatever you need to get that job done in that one folder. Now, as a company, you need to decide how you're going to track your time and how you're going to track your jobs. So let's say I went out to this gentleman today and I replaced a blower motor and I completed my appointment. I invoiced him, I got paid, and tomorrow he calls back and says, my AC's not working and the blower motor is not making any noise. I just put it in yesterday. It's under warranty. The part's under warranty. Service is probably under warranty. Can't charge them because we were just here yesterday to get it fixed. So do you send him back out on the same job where he did the original service? Or do you, as a company, keep track of callbacks, is what we used to call them, callbacks as a separate appointment? Because some people see that that appointment should be on the original job because that time that you had to go back for the callback that you couldn't charge for is not going to make your job profitable. You're going to probably lose money on that job because the repair only figured an hour to go out and change that blower motor. But the next day you had to send somebody out. May have taken them 2 hours to figure out what was wrong or an hour to figure out what was wrong. They may not have had the part on the truck. They may have to go get the part. So you're losing time. So as a company, you need to decide, am I going to keep track of callbacks on a separate job, or am I going to put them on the same job? If it is the same job, you can come in here and you can go choose on the appointment to send them back. If not, it will create a new job. You may want to have a job type for callback. You may want to name it for callback. Any way that you want to be able to quantify these on reporting. Um, we have job types on there. That's a good way to do it. Appointment tags, you could keep it as the same type of a service or a repair job and put an appointment tag for callback. So there's different ways to do it, but as long as everybody's on the same page and you guys all agree on how you're going to track it, that's a great thing. But when one person starts using an appointment tag, one person starts using a job type, and you go to reporting, it gets all over the place. You may have some people who are scheduling them to go back on the same job, some people who are scheduling a new job. So just get on the same page with everybody so that when you go to reporting, you have all the information you need in one place. Okay. Let's see. So you have the ability to flag jobs. And so let's say, I think I have this one open up here. This is one of the ones where they need a part. Okay, so he's out there, he's completed his appointment, he needs a part and he needs to schedule to go back. From the mobile app and from online, you have the ability to create a flag. And a flag is basically a note on a job because once the flag is complete, it's going to show in calls and notes so you don't lose that history. So you can come in and hit flag for follow-up. Let's say it was a part order, and I'm going to assign it to Jordan because he's ordering my parts for me, and I need him to order it today before 2 o'clock because that's what time my parts house close off their ordering so that we can get it on the truck the next day. So order blower motor, assign it to Jordan. Okay. So now this job has a big red flag on it. It shows up a lot of places in the system, but the best place to monitor these all in one place is the job list. The job list gives you a list of all jobs and which flags, which jobs are flagged. Now, in our system, you can click on follow up and you can toggle them up and down because once they go out of sight, they're out of mind and you don't see them. Or you can click on this. And this is the best way to go because it can show you who's assigned to, what date it's due. And so Jordan needs to order this part. So if I was Jordan, I would come in and click on this. I would say, oh, I need to order this blower motor. I ordered the blower motor due on tomorrow's truck. When my truck gets in tomorrow, I can change my due date till tomorrow so that I know I need to check to make sure it came in on that truck. And then tomorrow, I can go ahead and schedule on the same job to go back out and get that changed out again for them. So once my flag is complete, I can hit complete and hit save. Once I refresh this, that big red bar will go away. And it lives here as a note. So you can keep track of the notes on the job. It was a job note. He ordered the blower motor, and he can put in there, it gives you who created it, who updated it on here. So in case you ever need to know who changed the note, it's on there. Okay. Okay. You always have the appointment report that you can come and take a peek at. Some people like to print this out so that they have it. You can always download it. You can go by date range. If you just want to see, okay, what do I have for the next week, you can do that. We also have the appointment and services request report. So there's several of these that you can keep track of your appointments this way. And the other one, this one is loading, is the job profit report. So if you start going into job costing and you start seeing your labor cost going way up on here, then that's one of the things you can take a look at to see if you're scheduling appropriately, how long it takes the tech to get there, or if there was a better way to schedule, or if you didn't estimate the repair correctly. And there is another place here. So if you're seeing this and the labor cost is a little high and you're looking at like, well, wait, Jack Dawson is like 50 miles almost outside of my regular service, you can come in and decide as a company under, I believe it's job preferences, whether you're going to include that tech time to drive. Okay, because if it's going to take you that long to get there and don't want to consider that in the time for the appointment, you can exclude the tech travel time and it will just pull in the actual time for the hit at the job and job completed. Okay. Did anybody have any questions on scheduling best practices? I know kind of went into some other things as well, some other features, but they're kind of all interwoven into the schedule. There's not that very many of us, so that you can always unmute if you'd like, or you can put it in the chat. One of the things that I will tell you is if you go to this and you hit cancel unschedule. See, now I've got the appointment status, scheduled, coverage zone mismatch, and appointment overlap. So that's what on the notice is. You can click unschedule here, and that will permanently delete the appointment and take it out of there. If for some reason, and some people do this, I don't recommend that you do this, but some people do it all day long and it works for them, is they will go out and say they have to go back to this appointment. They'll come in here and they will move it back to the unassigned so that they don't have to create another appointment to go back. And then when they go back, they just drag it and drop. It starts getting a little bit confusing with which tech is on what time because the original tech might not be the one that's going back. And then let's say you scheduled a different way and it was sitting over here. Now you try to delete the one that's over here and you can't because it has time on it. And that's when it gets a little bit sticky because you'll go to edit this, you'll get cancel and schedule, and it'll say you can't do it because there's time on this appointment. And then you would have to go back to the job. You would have to either delete that time off that tech and move it on to the other. It gets a little bit ugly. So the cleanest way to do it is anytime that anybody goes out to an appointment on a job, they get a new one. And or it is a service request that is drag and dropped once. So if you're going to use them for multiple times, then it starts to get a little bit sticky, especially if you're not consistent between dispatchers on how you're going to do it. One's going to create a new appointment. The other one's going to take this one and keep dragging it and back and forth. And then you end up with one here that really has time on it, but it's never been rescheduled. So again, as a company, you need to kind of decide the best way that works for you. And as long as everybody's on the same page, you should be good to go.